Welcome or welcome back to What's New with Human Design. This is a transit report for where the sun and the earth are in the human design mandala. Today, July 7th, the sun moves into the gate 53 and the earth moves into the gate 54. Both of these gates are on the root center, and that means that they're going to have something to do with timing, because everything that is in the root center has to do with timing. That's because the root center has an on-off pulse, and it helps us to be able to discern what is divine timing, what is right timing. So with both of these gates, they're going to be related to right timing, and we need to be tuning into that. Divine timing is one of the most significant things that I have learned in coming to human design. So you get a chance to really play with that this week. Now, to get the most out of this and all of my updates, I really encourage you to have your own human design chart with you so you can see whether or not you have the gates that are being lit up by the sun and the earth defined in your chart, which means it would be colored in, or if it's undefined or open, which means that it's white. The difference is that if it's open or white, you're going to be more influenced by the energies of the sun or the earth lighting up those gates than you are if it's colored in. If it's colored in, then you have the opportunity to work with that energy and to help direct it into its higher expression if you're feeling like you have a tendency to identify with and express the lower expression of those gates. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That enables me to continue to provide this free content every week, and it will help you know when I release one of these. I release them every Wednesday, and soon I'm going to be doing another one, so I'll be doing 2 a week. So let's dive in. The sun in the gate 53 in both quantum human design and traditional human design, gate 53 is known as starting or beginning. And so it's the energy for getting things going. Now, as I said earlier, you still have to pay attention to timing. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it is the time to start just anything. You still need to be tuning in and using your authority according to human design to discover whether or not it is the right time for you to be starting things. But if you have things that you've been avoiding, you've been procrastinating around, that hasn't been at the top of your priority list, but you know is actually really important, you'll have some extra energy to be able to get those things rolling. So you might want to take a look at what's happening so you might want to take a look at your to-do list or the things that aren't on your to-do list that maybe should be, and see if it now is the right time to get those started, because you'll have an extra boost for that. Now, what can happen when you're more expressing the lower aspect of this energy is you can be procrastinating. You can either be procrastinating, which is that you're not starting things, you have a story in your mind, you have some kind of rationale that's letting you know why you shouldn't be doing that. And it can be subconscious too, like you might just be, avoiding it and not even fully realize that you are. The other way that you could go would be that you push to start things when it's not the right time. So you want to watch out for those two. And if you have a tendency to do either of those, this is a good time, whether you're defined or whether you're open, to be able to shift that so that you can tune into right timing and take the initiative to go ahead and start some things this week. Like, I know I already felt this energy coming in, and I already took action on some things that I had been procrastinating on. So that can be really a benefit for you. Now, the earth is lighting up gate 54, which is also on the root center. It's a very different quality, though. This in traditional human design is known as drive, or ambition. And in quantum human design, Karen Curry Parker, who is the creator of quantum human design, has renamed it divine inspiration, which I find really interesting. I have the gate 54 defined in my chart. My conscious moon, which is what drives you, is lighting up the gate of ambition or the gate of drive. So you can imagine that's a super intense energy for me, and it has served me. I would say that I have been an ambitious person. I have always had a drive to want to create, to want to serve, to contribute, and so it has definitely served me in that way. I haven't always been paying attention to right timing, though. Before I came to human design, I didn't really understand about right timing. I didn't fully appreciate it. And so now when I have this ambition or I have this drive, I will always be tuning in. Do I have the energy for it? That's the number one question that I ask. And I ask my sacral because I'm a pure generator and I'm not emotionally defined. So I can just go ahead and ask my sacral. That's my authority. And I can say, is this the right time? Oh, okay, it's the right time for starting something. Like there's a project that I have had an idea, and actually I received a fully blown download about it it'll be 2 years in September. So it's been quite a while. And I've been wondering, when am I going to create this thing? But lately I've been feeling the drive coming in for it to happen. And now I don't have the 53, which is the starting things, defined in my chart. So I'm going to use that energy of the 53, and I can feel the build in the 54 to get this project started. It's not going to come into fruition until October. It is a conference for women, by women, and non-binaries, and anyone who wants to attend. And it is Women Evolving Our World, Feminine Sovereignty, Leadership, and the Right Use of Power. And now is the right time for it to happen. So I am beginning it during these next few days. So it'll get some traction and the momentum will get going, because it takes months to prepare for a conference like that. So that's what I'm going to be doing and working with this. The 54, that energy of divine inspiration, or that energy of drive or of ambition, the way that I understand it now, especially with this new quantum human design definition, is that it is about this kind of inner spark, if you will, that is leading us to what it is that we want to be creating next. It is part of the business circuit inside of tribal circuitry. So it is an energy that is great for building business. And that's why this thing about this conference, which is a part of my business, is perfect in terms of the divine inspiration for that and the divine timing for that, and starting it now with this energy. But of course, I'm checking that with my sacral to make sure, because it doesn't, just because the 53 is lit up by the sun doesn't necessarily mean it's the right time to start everything. But to be tuning in to that 54 energy, the kind of inner inspiration, inner spark that you have. It's all the way down at the root. So it's not the same kind of inspiration that we have that comes in through that 61, which you've heard me talk about before, the Gate of Wonder. It's a more of a grounded, rooted kind of inspiration that's coming more from a deep sense of who you are, what you're here to provide. And so that whatever your ambition is, it's really aligned with your values, with what matters to you, with what you want to create in the world. And you're not allowing the energy of ambition to take a hold of you and send you in directions that are not appropriate for you, which can happen because ambition is something that is highly valued in our culture, really fueled by a lot of marketing, by a lot of messaging that's out there in the common culture. And it leads us to, work, drive, make things happen. So you want to make sure that you're not having that energy take you over and direct you in ways that are not either in the right time or not even appropriate for you. So you want to make sure that you're always kind of double checking these things. I really believe in the power of pause. It's something that I learned a few years ago outside of the context of human design. And it has made a huge difference for me because I do tend to be a little bit of a barrel forward kind of a person. And so it's good to just have this practice of pausing to feel and to discern, to see if it is the right time, if it is the right project, if it is the right people that you are working with. So be tuning into that. And when you get a clear yes, you're going to have all the support that you need to really move forward with things you've been inspired around, ambitions that you've had, and to be able to start them now rather than later. While we can't control divine timing, we can influence it when we tune into the higher energies of the root center. So taking that energy of ambition or inspiration and using the power of pause, making sure that it is the right time, grabbing a hold of that energy of the 53, which is of starting things. And again, tuning into right timing. Is it the right time to begin something? And the more that you're paying attention and the more that you're also taking care of your energetic vibration so that you are in an uplifted state, you're in a receptive state, you're in a well-resourced state, the more you're going to be able to influence timing, because it's when we are in more of an alignment with our own human design, and when we're in alignment with our own heart's desire, and when our energy is clear, then we have more ability to influence timing. This is one of the reasons that I have shared with you in a few of my last updates some of the energy practices that I utilize to be able to have my energy be clear and also to have it be elevated, so that my heart can really be open, my mind can be calm. I'm not being pulled into the past by a lot of old beliefs that don't serve me anymore. And I'm not future tripping, spending a lot of time out there worrying about what's going to happen. I'm just right here. And as I am right here and I'm in alignment, I'm using my strategy, I'm using my authority according to human design, then I'm able to really influence timing. I would encourage you to get to know your strategy and your authority and to utilize them and work with them every day. I say this often to the students in my Activate Your Superpowers class, because of course, when we come across human design, we get fascinated often by all of the different complexities of it, even talking about these gates. But we need to make sure that we are using our strategy and using our authority and living true to our type, because that opens the doorway for us to be able to go along the paths to explore and to elevate our experience of all of the different elements of the chart. And we don't have those in place. Then, like, for example, for me as a generator, I used to initiate way too much because that was the way I was trained to be in the world. It's what my common culture told me I needed to do. But it was not serving me. I mean, let me put it this way. It served me in some ways and harmed me in others. And the harm got to be intolerable for me. And so when I discovered human design and learned I was designed to respond and started working that way, and I learned the power of pause so that I could discern what's actually true for me, and I learned how to use my sacral authority, that's when everything started to change and I was able to influence timing. So for you, I would encourage you to go ahead and review that. And I do have a series of videos on the superpowers of all of the different types. And then I also have videos on the strategies and the authorities. So you can go ahead and check those out if you're not familiar with those already. I want to mention one other aspect of what's happening in the mandala this week, which is that Jupiter is lighting up the gate 55. The gate 55 is on the emotional solar plexus, and it's the gate of abundance. And it's a gate of kind of like the emotional experience of this sense of expansion, this sense of abundance. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion, right? It's the planet of wealth. It's also the planet of excess. But we can tap into this energy of the 55 and the way that Jupiter is lighting it up, which is really saying we can expand our sense of abundance. We can expand our sense of having all the resources that we need, whether those resources can be money, but those resources can also be people. They can be our access to high quality food, to clean air, to clean water. They can be access to all kinds of different resources. So tuning into what does that mean for you right now? And you might want to connect that to what's happening with this piece around divine inspiration and also with starting things, because it's possible that as you lean into this sense of expansion that Jupiter is just really highlighting and magnifying right now, you may have a magnification of that divine inspiration that you have and a sense that now is the time to move forward with that. So Jupiter is your friend. You want to make sure that you don't go into excess, because Jupiter can also make you overeat and overdrink and kind of over party. So you want to make sure that you don't go down that pathway. But letting that energy of expansion really help you to elevate your energy and expand your sense of possibility. That's my update for this week. If you like the video, please do go ahead and subscribe, and also give it a thumbs up. Tell your friends. Many blessings, much love. Bye for now.